and welcome to the Chasing the Rabbit podcast, a podcast from First Baptist Church of the Islands in Savannah, Georgia. Be sure to follow this podcast. Turn on your notifications to get every episode right on time. Help us out by rating this podcast. Even better, share this podcast. I'll be your host for today's episode. My name is Brooks, and we're going to chase some rabbits. All right, everybody. So we've had a busy weekend. We've had all kind of stuff going on around the table over the weekend. It's a beautiful day outside. I can look out the window. Jeremy is now looking out the window, and we have a window in our podcast place, and it's just beautiful outside. So I'm excited. This is a good thing. So Hannah came home this weekend. It was homecoming at the day school as well, so it was a good football game, and got some alumni food. And got to hang out with Hannah some this weekend. It was good. So
why do they call it homecoming?
Because, a lot of people who went off to school came home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the original.
I don't know. I guess so.
Yeah, the homecoming game is usually the one that everybody comes back to.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's.
Did you ever go to a church that used to do a homecoming?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Good food.
People would show up in overalls and stuff.
Absolutely.
It's like an old timey day sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
We didn't do that in our churches.
We didn't do that either.
Hey, I want to come back to that.
I was just always surprised by how many people showed up that I'd never met before.
Right.
But that was what homecoming
Maybe
was
I'm
like for me.
merging homecoming and old timey day.
If you feed them, they
Tracker
will come.
day.
Tractor. We used to have a camo day.
Oh, nice.
And that's where they made me believe at my last church that the little jackalopes were real. It scared me to death. I was afraid to go outside at night. I was in my early 20s.
I have a question. Have we forgotten something?
We have.
What have we forgotten, Adam?
We forgot to introduce ourselves.
Can you kick us off?
Would that
be
after
okay?
90 episodes, they have no idea who
Are
we
you eating something?
No, I'm not. We're good.
Oh, okay.
He's just being disagreeable today.
You're just
I can
drinking your
introduce.
water. Well, I can only read half of it.
Waterloo.
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 Like a carefully placed branding moment here on the
Waterloo
film.
spiced apple.
Are you being
Sparkling
paid? Are
water.
they a personal sponsor?
they're
Is that
not.
like a seasonal flavor, the spiced apple?
It is a seasonal favorite.
Named
flavor.
after
It's
the
pretty
place
good.
where Napoleon died.
It is pretty good. Yeah, I guess. I don't really
Or where he
know.
lost the
we
battle,
will,
right?
we can jump in with me. I am Adam, our worship pastor.
How's it going, guys? This is Eric, the student pastor.
All right. This is J.O. Jeremy Young, the children's pastor.
This is Jason, the equipping pastor. It's hard to go after him.
Yeah.
I don't know when to jump in.
It throws you off
I
because
think he's done, and then he just
He's
keeps
so
going.
long-winded that you don't know when he's done yet. So you guys, y'all both, Jeremy and Eric, y'all had. I know you've got some stories from the past weekend from the week.
I slept this weekend.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I did not.
because you were on you had been on vacation. Yeah, you had been on vacation. So where'd you go? What'd you do?
Went to Florida, sunny Florida. We had great weather. We have been to this place before. It's right on the Swanee River, and we actually had a gator visit us, which is a little bit scary because I think people have been feeding them. But we get the kayak and do all the stuff, and the best part is we go to the Florida Springs where the underground water currents come up from the tunnels. And you see all the scuba guys are coming up.
So they're actual scuba divers.
Yeah.
And they just show up. They just pop up out of the
Yeah,
water.
they're cool. I call them scuba McDivers. How do you say it? MacGyvers. Yeah.
Scuba Steves.
Did you say?
scuba MacGyvers?
I think you said scuba with a V.
He did.
A while ago. He did.
It's the name of a new drink, scuba. It's like one.
Adam's going to have it next week.
But no, we snorkeled. So we, you get on top of the water and you just look underneath.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because you can see these pits where the divers go in and you can just snorkel over it and there's fish everywhere. And so I've got this funny story about snorkeling. So years ago, I went to the Florida Keys with my wife and we did some snorkeling. And the guy told me, he said, if you ever get water in your snorkel, just go toot and blow the water out. So years later, we went to the Bahamas with some friends on a little cruise.
I don't know where this
And
is
so
going.
we were out there snorkeling, and I couldn't get the water out. I was going, toot, 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 toot. Couldn't get the water out. And Amber pulls me out of the water. She said, would you shut up? And I said, what? She's like, everybody's looking at you. My buddy pops out of the water. He's like, dude, what are you doing? I was like, I'm trying to toot the water out. He goes, it looks like you're going fish, 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 fish. But we had a great time.
That's good. And those things go super deep.
It's crazy.
Certain
Some are like,
parts of them.
yeah, I mean, because it goes hundreds of, feet down under, and some of them are like 70 feet deep. So it was,
And caves,
it was amazing.
you said?
Yeah, you can see inside the caves. I wouldn't go down there.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't recommend.
if I was scubing,
Scoovin.
scuba dubing.
Well, that's good. It sounds fun. So you were there the whole week?
Yes, Monday through Friday.
Yeah. And then you slept over the weekend, kind of made up for it a little bit.
When you get back from vacation, you got to sleep.
You need a vacation from
Vacation back from
That's
vacation?
exactly
Yeah,
right. That's
absolutely.
Good. That's
It's good to be back.
And you're talking about how tired you are from scoobing, and then Eric's about to jump in with what he did. Eric, what'd you do this weekend?
So we had our Grow Ruck event this past weekend, which is an F3. It's a national event. We got to host it here in Savannah, but it was out on Tybee. And so we had a couple other things throughout the weekend. We had like a kind of like a fellowship rally that first Friday night. And then Saturday morning, we had Grow School here at the church, which is kind of like a male leadership class. But the big piece of the whole weekend is the Ruck. And so we met at 6 p.m.
Real quick,
Yes.
explain for those who may not know what a ruck
Okay,
is.
sorry. A Ruck
okay.
is walking with weight. Like it's super simple.
I do that every day.
with extra weight. So we have backpacks.
I do that every day as well.
We don't have to.
So,
buy
okay,
the
so
backpack.
backpacks loaded down.
Yeah,
Typically
so-
about how heavy?
The requirement for this one was a 30-pound plate plus all your additional gear for the weekend. And so we had to meet at 5:50 on the beach right there at the Maritime Center. And then so from 6 p.m. until about 9 a.m. we rucked. No sleep, no stop, no break, really. We had about 5 minutes or so between evolutions to rehydrate, grab a quick bite from a bar or something we had in our bag.
And this was voluntary.
Actually, I paid for it.
This was not punitive
Yeah, it
in
was
any
actually
way.
something I signed up for and paid for. But then, so we got 16 hours roughly on
That's awesome.
on Ruck. We did 18 miles total across around Tybee. We were carrying logs, carrying sandbags, anywhere from 60 to 80 pounds. All kind of physical training pieces. The first 45 minutes was a welcome party where we alternated between being in the water, doing push-ups, sit-ups, and squats,
Mm-hmm.
and then back into the sand doing bear crawls to get all covered in sand. At one point, we had to bury our partner and your ruck buddy. So Clay was actually my ruck buddy for that
Yeah.
part. So I was throwing sand on Clay's face. It was a lot of fun. And then, so it was a lot. I mean, but it was a cool experience. The whole thing was to push your boundaries and figure out what you're capable of, but then understanding that as a team, you can do far more than you think you can do yourself. Like there were plenty of times that the guys, I just want to be done, but then being able to push through together as a group was really, really cool.
That's cool. How many people total?
42
Yeah,
rucked.
wow.
We had 7 support crew, 42 rucking. We got done at 9, and then we all got in a truck, and I flew back here and made it for small group. I was a bit sandy and slightly delusional, but
So you finished Sunday morning?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you feel now, Jeremy, about talking about how tired you were from floating around?
I feel even better about that.
We'll get you
Wow.
next time, Trey.
Your welcoming party, it makes me wonder, should we change the way we do our welcomes here when people come?
Yeah, I was
Our
thinking
greeter
that's
thing.
quite a welcome party when you got a bear crawl in the sand and
Yeah.
bury
Yeah.
people.
We should
and-
stop people in the parking lot and be like, oh, right
Yeah.
there, stop at the awning.
You got a bear crawl in?
it.
Yeah.
Now crab walk back.
Remember the wheelbarrows? Somebody hold your feet. You just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind
Let's
of
pour
church
some
is
sand
this?
right there in the entrance.
We need that
for
little
about
sandbox we
20
can work
feet,
through.
20-foot depth there.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that'd be good. So you did it all like right on time. It wasn't all on the beach, right? Or was it?
Some of it was off. Most of it was on the beach. I mean, we were on the beach for, I'd say, probably 14 of the 16 hours.
Because I was curious if you were out more like near the roadway, if you were getting a lot of people blowing horns
No.
and yelling stuff and that kind of thing.
By the time we got around to that point of the Ruck route, it was probably 2 a.m. So most the bars were shutting down, and Tybreecia was kind of cleared out, and Pirate Fest was already done. And so we came up. I think we actually passed Witt like on the way by.
Yeah.
But I was like in no mood to talk, so I just kept going. And so once we got down Butler, we came over to the Y. We met up there. Then we got back on the beach after that. So we
Yeah.
were back roads for the most part.
Very nice. So
Yeah.
how do you feel today?
I hurt. Like I
was about to say.
my shoulders are sore, knees are sore, hips are sore, but it's a good feeling.
First
It's an
day's
accomplishment.
tough, second day's worse, third
Yeah.
day you're like, why did I do everything that I did 2 days ago?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
then like the
but then
guys are
you're
posting
clear
pictures
there.
now and seeing those. It's just really cool.
That's
to
awesome,
see what
man.
we went through.
That is super cool. That's
Yeah.
really good. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
That's worthy of some commendation right there.
I appreciate it.
That's pretty good.
Oh, that was sweet.
So did you guys do anything? I mean, I don't want to say anything about it. I watched some football on Saturday. Yeah. So no other stories really. You can't top that.
We went to a movie.
That's good.
Sat and put my feet up. And watched the
Did
movie.
you crawl through sand to get there?
Nope. Nope. Rode in the flex. AC all the way. Picked up some pizza afterwards. So.
It was cold on Tybee.
That's a good thing.
It was cold.
Yeah, it's been cool here
Yeah.
lately. Hey, I have a question. I thought about this earlier. So it was, 50s this morning? Bonafide winter around here. So 50s. Of course, it's getting back up close to 80 during the day. But I was thinking tonight, the Braves, they're in the playoffs and didn't show up at all 2 nights ago when they played. They just terrible.
Have you honked going by
Oh, yeah.
coaches yet?
Oh, yeah. You
I
gotta-
honked the other day.
Yeah, you got to do that. But my question is, they're playing tonight, 6 o'clock. So for those listening to this, it will have been last night. Hopefully we've celebrated by then. But is it cold enough to do chili for dinner? What do you think? Do we still need to wait a little while? Because I was thinking earlier, I thought, man, chili could be good tonight. But of course, it's going to be 80 degrees sometime today. Is it time for chili? No. I don't know.
If you're in the South, yes.
I think for a later dinner, it's good.
Yeah.
Let the sun drop a smidge, cool
Yeah.
off a smidge.
It's cooling off
Be okay.
quick, though. I mean,
Yeah.
as soon as the sun
It
starts
drops
going down,
quick.
it starts dropping. You open up your windows and doors, and it'll feel like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oyster crackers, saltines, or nothing? What do you go with? What's your go-to for chili?
Saltines.
It's oyster crackers for me.
Well, I'd say saltines. A lot of times cornbread.
Ooh,
Yeah, I like
that's
that.
one.
It's pretty good.
Make some
I was
cornbread.
going to say
But
cornbread.
I like Jiffy Mix. I like it sweet.
Yeah.
Because
Or-
you're sweet.
Or Fritos corn chips.
Corn chips.
I like Fritos in my chili.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
crunch them up or? Oh, so you like corn chip dust?
Yeah, or crumbles. Yeah. Yeah. But cornbread, too. I like the
Play throw
sweet
some pork
cornbread.
rinds in there on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that episode we did a while back, and it talked about crazy fall items. What if you put some pumpkin spice pop rocks on the top of your chili?
Oh.
That could be an interesting dynamic going on there. So I was just curious. So we have something we need to talk about. We've got to settle this, and we need our listeners to help out with this. So
Yes, we do.
we had an interesting event take place, a week ago? Is that right? Richard was cleaning around the church property.
Thursday, I think,
Was it
wasn't it?
Thursday? He was cleaning.
Wednesday or Thursday?
Nah, it may have been. I remember seeing Sherry the next day, so it may have been Wednesday. I don't remember. I don't know. So anyway, Richard Chafin was doing some cleanup around the church. He's just awesome that way. He loves the Lord, loves this church, often does things just out of the kindness of his heart. So he was cleaning out some gutters of the student worship center because there's a big oak tree that hangs over there, and it needs it pretty frequently. Well, he found a kitten on the roof of the student worship center in the gutter. A little bona fide kitten. I wish we had a picture. We're on video now, but we don't have a
No,
picture.
I was trying to find one, but I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, I
know
didn't even
iPad,
think about
but I
that.
should-
I
I
could've
can
found-
find you.
I say Sherry.
So
just did one.
Sherry might not want herself in there, but I don't know.
we got-
or
we
she
got-
may. You know how some people
there's
are
one
with
with
that.
a,
There's a cat in a shoe picture.
Yeah, I say that one's pretty
The
good.
there
only
you
problem
go.
is it's
Send
on my
it to me
phone,
if
and my
you
phone's a camera right now, so I can't.
Yes.
Here, I got one
Send
right
it
here.
to my
Can we-
iPad if you can.
Does this help? Yeah, I'm. Do you need my picture?
I'm trying to see if I can get it.
Okay, we'll try to bring it up.
Drop it. See if we
I'll
can
go.
airdrop
But
it.
here's the problem. So we were just kind of joking around the office because Sherry had two options: either take it to the little kitten giveaway store, I guess Humane Society or something, or keep it. And I think we all knew she was going to be keeping this thing. She wasn't going
Yeah.
to be giving it away. I mean, we all knew that. Of course, the next day,
She had it wrapped in a towel and was
Yes.
holding it like a baby when I came in the
before
door.
she had even left the property.
Yeah.
So we knew it was going home. And sure enough, it went home. But now she needs a name. And she texted us literally this morning.
I thought it was Sherry.
No, Sherry's got a name.
Oh,
yeah,
the
yeah.
cat.
The
Okay.
Yeah, the kitten. Yes. So she texted us just an hour or so ago saying, "Hey, I need help. I need to know what to name this kitten." So I'm curious if you guys have any ideas, any possibilities. And this is also an introduction or an invitation to those who are listening. Can they do this like at the? How would they post? What
Yeah,
they're-
we can have it on the Spotify side. There'll be a space there where you can
you
put
get it?
your idea for a name.
I got
Okay,
the
yeah.
photo up right here. If
be
you want to
good.
put it up, Adam.
Yeah, do we?
Oh,
Yeah, there's the
a little kitten in a shoe right here.
Yeah.
Kitten in a shoe. There he is.
She took it over to Island's veterinarian. They estimate the cat to be maybe about 4 weeks old.
Wow.
Yeah. Last week. So as soon as that all happened that day, she took the cat to the vet. And so they started feeding her a little bit of milk and things, and she's been syringe feeding her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so my neighbor next door told me the other day, because we have a lot of the cats in our neighborhood, but he said if you don't get them by 5 weeks, they won't ever domesticate. I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh wow,
but-
that's
so
interesting.
glad she got it. when
I
she
bet
did.
it would be difficult the older they get. I've had cats that we took in strays, and it took them a while to come around.
Oh, wow.
It takes a long time. You just pretty much have to be on their time, and sometimes they won't ever.
So, do y'all have any name just options, possibilities?
So my first idea was, since he found it in a gutter ball, but it's a little girl. It just doesn't feel like a gutter
Ball.
But, yeah,
Gutterball. I like that.
She's too cute though.
I like
don't
that.
know.
That's okay. Gutterball. Anybody else? I heard one person say casserole because it's she was founded at a Baptist church, and Baptist churches are known for casseroles.
cats
Name her
for
fried
sure.
chicken.
Cat.
Lottie or
Casserole. Kitty,
name it Lottie or Janie.
Lottie.
Lottie or Annie.
One of the Annie one of the two
Armstrong.
Baptist
Annie
women.
can't
You said Janie.
Well, Janie Chapman's for South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
South
Yeah,
Carolina.
Janie Chapman. Yeah.
We have 3 ladies.
We about to
of
take
South
away your
Carolina.
Baptist card, boy.
No, I'm more Baptist than you. We got 3 ladies in South Carolina.
We got an extra one.
We had an extra Baptist lady.
I asked Paige and she told her about the gutter thing, and she said rainy would be a cute idea. So
Rainy. Yeah, rain gutter. I like it.
Yeah,
That's
I like
good.
Rainy.
So if you have any good ideas, shoot them our way.
Yeah,
we'll
they'll
make sure
be-
that Sherry will see them in the comments
They'll be on
as well.
Spotify, so you can drop them there, or on YouTube. You can put them in the comments.
Yeah, very nice. We're off and running. We're gonna have that cat named in no time.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be good. We'll see what she comes up with. Hey, let's go ahead and take a break right here. We've got an event coming up this Sunday that's really strategic, really important, and a really, really good event at the same time as well. So Jason's going to tell us a little bit about that in just a moment.
So yeah, this Sunday we are going to have our connections class right after church. This goes hand in hand with our merge lunch that we have, but the connections class is a good time to come and to be able to hear more about what our church is all about. It's going to be this Sunday, October 15th at 11:45. It's going to be in room D101, first room on the left coming from the lobby or coming from the sanctuary, last room down on the right. And that room, in that space, we're going to be talking about what does it mean to be a member of our church, to be a part of our church. What is our mission? What does our vision look like to be everyday missionaries? The discipleship pathway that we've laid out. We're going to unpack all these things, and I'll literally give you a directory of people you can call if you're looking for next steps to take to be a part of a group, to be in a place of service. I'll give you all the info you need to do all those things. So great place to come to get information, but also to ask questions. Sometimes if we have enough people and there's interest, we might even do a little walk around, show you some spaces that you don't always see, and try to answer any questions you got along the way.
Awesome. That event's really important because it's not about just showing up, right? It's not about just showing up on a Sunday, filling a seat, listening to a service, and then kind of going on your way until the next time. It's about jumping in, plugging in, serving the Lord, serving people, making disciples, growing, all those things. And so there's a lot that goes on here that helps to facilitate that. So this connections class, I love it because it's a great opportunity for us to see people that are hungry, they're ready for that next step, and then we help them to take it. So it's always really cool. And we see residual really kind of across the board because of this class. A lot of times we see more in preschool, more in children, more in students. Sometimes we pick up folks that are part of our choir music ministry as a result, more in grow groups, the whole 9 yards. So really
I
good
just
event.
had a listener buzz in with a question. Are there snacks?
There are usually snacks. I usually try to pick up some donuts, probably some Publix donuts. They're pretty good alternative when Krispy Kreme's not working, unless I can get my Krispy Kreme delivery together. So,
No
which
wonder
may
you
happen.
like going so much.
Well, it's I'm there to just here to serve. I'm just amazed that we had a listener buzzing in during a recorded podcast.
That we rescheduled. That's not even
That is
normal time.
amazing. That is super amazing. So we're continuing in the series, Jesus Come and See. This past Sunday, we looked at the whole concept of Jesus' mission, and it was eye-opening for me because where we landed was not a surprise. And if you were here, we landed at the spot of Luke 19:10, that he's come to seek and to save that which was lost. And that, I think that really does capture the essence of his mission. That's why he came. That was the whole purpose. But there were other passages too that talked about kind of nuances of that as to why he came as well. So it was an interesting message for me to put together and prepare. What about you guys? Any thoughts about the mission of Jesus? Any certain passages we may have talked about or anything else that comes to mind as well? I love chewing on this part, and I think folks like to hear us kind of talk about what the topic was on Sunday as well. I'll turn it over to y'all.
I really like the simplicity of it. I mean, how you present it. I mean, it was clear. Like we don't have this huge, like 6-pointed mission statement. Like just seek and save the lost. It's like super simple, to the point. If it doesn't accomplish that, it's not part of the mission. And I think it's cool to have that kind of singularity of vision that we oftentimes miss. We try to make things, we got this point and this point and this point and this point. But Jesus kept it really clean in that.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's good.
I love how he had the bigger picture in mind. Like the mission, I mean, what he could do in 3 years was amazing, right? But, for instance, I work in children's ministry, so a lot of times I have to think about the bigger vision, which is, yes, I'm ministering to kids and to hopefully get them to be able to see Jesus and be saved. but to think long term, like this is going to affect the way they parent one day, or what happens to them when they're in college or their grandkids. Things that we learned when we were kids, even growing up in church, still affect us today. But Jesus had this bigger picture, because I know when I start something, I'm like, well, I want to see it finished. And of course he was there because he's God, but he sets it up and then he leaves it to us mere humans. Like, well, here you go. I'm going to give it to you guys to run with it. And so he had this, even 2,000 years from now, the mission's still going. And he could see that. He had that bigger picture in mind for the mission, which I thought was amazing.
Good point. Yep. That's good. A couple of good comments. How about you guys?
It was interesting because I wasn't following in the notes at first. I pulled them up in the app as you were preaching, and I was doing security and listening to you from the lobby out there. And when you said, "What's the mission?" I immediately thought of Luke 19:10. So I felt like I won the Bible trivia for the day. I was like, I knew what verse we should preach out of for it, and so that was where I was going to. And then you started preaching all these other verses, and I'm like, wait, I thought we were going to do. So maybe I thought I got it wrong, but then you got there, so I was like, okay, I did all right. So, but I went and looked at the passage. You only did Luke 19:10, but it's the passage of Zacchaeus, the wee little man. And Jesus said in verse 9, he says, "Today salvation has come to this house, because he too is the son of Abraham, for the Son of Man has come to seek and to save that which was lost." And his point to them at that point was to say that Zacchaeus, who was this crook who had been stealing from his own people, hated by his own people, this man who was one that they would have despised, he's saying he was the son of Abraham too. And he is in the family, and we need to be seeking and saving him as well. We want his salvation also, not just those who are faithful or those who are religious. And so for me, it's the point to remember that Jesus' whole mission for all of us is to realize that, it's bigger than just the family of Abraham, of course. It's all of the people that he came to seek and to save, and that all of humanity, the ones that he came to save, that God would want us to have that same mission, have that same heart. To seek and to save the lost, to see him and his mission and his message communicated in that way.
Yeah, and to kind of chase a rabbit for just a second, you really see the whole Gentile part of it explode in Acts.
Right.
The Gospels are primarily, Jews that place their faith in Jesus.
Yeah.
You do have some, obviously, that were not of a Jewish background, but in Acts, that's where it really takes off. And then in Paul's letters, you begin to see the missionary journeys and those kind of things. So, that it expands far beyond just the Jewish people. He truly is Savior of the world.
Yeah. Well, even though the mission is complete, as you said, God's mission to reach the world with the gospel is not. And that's where we come in. And as everyday missionaries, as those who share our testimony and who live out that testimony. And so the way you tied it all back into us being part of that mission, it's not just about Jesus, but it's he laid the foundation, set the goal for us, and now we get to be a part of that mission as well. And that's something we sometimes forget. It's easy to forget that. It's easy for church members to forget that and point at the pastors as we're the ones who are supposed to do that work, not them, but it's us. It's all of us.
I was thinking about his example of the mission in Romans 12, I think it's 12:2, that we're supposed to be a living sacrifice. That's our mission now, is to be a living sacrifice. And I was just looking up a verse, Matthew 20:28, where Jesus said he didn't come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. That one of the reasons he came, really the main reason, was to be a sacrifice. And now our mission is to be a living sacrifice. And that example he gave still lives in us every day, that when we wake up every day, well, what am I to do today? Be a living sacrifice. One that honors God and brings light into this dark world.
And the old saying, the problem with living sacrifices,
They crawl off the altar.
they crawl off the altar, right?
Yeah.
And so
I've never heard that.
Yeah, we have a tendency to do that, to kind of present ourselves, and then we try to take ourselves back to some degree. So you never heard that?
I think Jason just acted like he heard it, because you were like, they crawl.
No.
He was like, they crawl up, they crawl.
No, I think you'd heard it.
No,
Must have been a-
somebody was repeating after somebody.
That was
Nobody
a
really
seminary
knew.
thing that we didn't get.
Yeah,
I've heard that before.
exactly. Yeah,
I've heard it.
I've heard
Exactly.
it before.
Like, when's your birthday, Eric?
March 6th.
March
6th.
6th. Yeah, say it like that. Yeah.
It didn't exactly happen that way. We need to roll back that tape. Can we get a review of this play?
finish each other's sandwiches. It's like,
Tuesday morning, 6 a.m. You can find a review of that.
Yeah. We're going to go back and listen to the original.
Have any of y'all had a drink called Waterloo? Yeah, you know about it.
Do it again.
You know about it.
I've heard of it.
It's got a flavor. It's called spice.
Spice.
Apple spice.
Apples.
Apple
apples.
spice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
apple
Yeah.
spice.
Spiced apple,
apples.
yeah.
Apples. Yeah.
That's what I've
Confused
heard.
with sporty
Really
spice.
good.
Can you do that again, just to kind of in the moment, live taste test, and just give us
Yeah.
the first?
Did that.
Yeah, go ahead, take a drink.
The
Let us-
camera capture the drink.
we want to hear some adjectives. What's it taste like? That's all we need. That's good.
Tastes like fall.
Where
Y'all.
it tastes like a ride on the Blue Ridge Parkway.
You picked up a leaf off the ground.
Squeezed it in there from a watery stream. So where do you buy these Waterloo spiced apple drinks?
Kroger.
Okay.
That's where I found those.
Yeah, that's good. Did you pay for it? It's like I just found these, giving them away.
Laying over on the floor.
Just sitting here. I thought I'd take
Maybe
one.
whenever we have chili, we can invite you over and you can bring some Waterloo.
I'll bring some Waterloo
Spiced apple Waterloo.
That'd be great. That'd be awesome. So we mentioned a couple of illustrations too about we're really about three of them about mission and how any mission always starts with the end goal in sight. And we shared a little story, Jeremy, that helps to explain why you're so antagonistic towards me personally.
Dirty dog.
Yeah, about how we pulled a fast one on you. And it was a mission that a number of people were involved in. And that was a fast one. I won't go through all the details because most people listening to this probably know it. But we pulled a fast one on you a few years ago where we faked a legal letter that sort of looked like you were in big trouble, and we pulled a fast one on
I
you.
did get permission after service. It's Kale and Christine Pruitt.
Yes, absolutely.
I could tell you where they live, but
They were great in that, by the
I
way.
should have known when I saw the document in my box and it said April 1st on it because it was on April's Fool's Day.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, and I came to you and I was like, Brooks, what do we need to do this? And you're like, well, you're going to have to reach out to one of our trustees. I was like, we have trustees? I mean, I just started. Like, who are these people? You know? And it's like, so finally in the car, I'm like, I'm going to call this number, just see what this is all about. And I'm panicking. I'm like, I messed this up. Brooks warned me this rabbit might bite somebody. And I call and it's Kale's voicemail. And I'm like, you dirty dogs.
And now all these years later, how many years ago was that?
Oh, almost 9.
Almost
be
nine? You've been here that long?
Yeah, well, it'll be 9 years for me this November
this
and then
November.
next spring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost 9.
Yikes, man.
9.
Ah,
During
9.
service, when you said 2016,
means
I'm
no.
like, no, that's when I came. He was a couple years before.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not very good with dates.
I'm glad you landed Susie. Yeesh. Oh, the other
You're
day.
late. You got.
I'm not doing it anymore. It's Eric.
No, you got it.
No, that's the one we needed.
wanted
for
the
that.
rim
No,
shot.
There you
Yes,
go. I got it.
We're
absolutely.
talking about the other dates. They
I
go
do
right
video
through my
now.
system.
Eric's
Yeah.
got your audio.
Sorry.
Those sugar dates.
Forgot
Those
I had
dates
that.
are bad. Yeah. They go through you.
I totally forgot what I was going to say. I had something that I was going to mention, but
Can I
no,
mute them too? Is that part of my
Can
power?
mute them
Okay.
too, yeah. If you need to, please do.
That could be beneficial. Yeah. But it was a really, really good trick. And Kale and Christine were great. I mean, they could do this for a living. They were so good at it. And no more deserving person I could ever think of than you, Jared.
Compliment.
And now all these years, when it started with a legal letter over a possible rabbit bite, and now here you are 9 years later doing a podcast called Chasing the Rabbit. You just can't get away from it.
I think legally I can't leave. That was part of the stipulation.
Yeah, it was written in the fine print. Yes, absolutely. So we're having a good time going through this series. Hopefully, it's been
Yeah, this is a good
encouraging. It's been
series.
challenging. I do want to give a little bit of, I guess this is a plug in a way, but I won't take the time to share it now. But in the Monday Focus video that I did this week on Monday, I shared a little bit about a conversation I had with someone in attendance after the service this past Sunday, and he just God is working in his life. Recently, gave his life to Jesus, and the way he described it is just awesome. So if you haven't viewed that video yet, check it out because it's just really, really encouraging. Hopefully, this series has been encouraging for you. Hopefully, this podcast
We'll
has
link
been
that
encouraging
Monday
for you.
Focus video in the show
Wow, you
notes
do that?
of this as well.
Aw.
We can.
Adam, you're good, man.
I do have to say, some folks in attendance couldn't get past your first graphic.
What was that?
The first graphic was the Neil Armstrong on the moon with
Oh, yeah?
the flag flying
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It was
where
so
they
funny.
filmed that in Hollywood
Well,
Studios?
it was so funny because
Is that the part
I
of the
had
conspiracy?
like 3 or 4 different people afterwards like, how did that flag fly on the moon? I'm like, I have no idea. Just listen to what he was saying. Don't
There was
look
a
at
top
the
bar on
flag.
it.
Don't
I got
look
the
at
picture up if you want to
flag.
bring it up for
I
the
had it
video.
up. Yeah, I pulled it
Okay.
up.
Okay.
You know,
It's got to top brace people.
Yeah, you can
I
see
mean,
the top brace in the
come
video.
on.
This
I
is
just
what they're
thought it
focused
was
on instead of listening.
funny. I
Yeah.
know.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
perfectly straight across the top because they
did
had a
that on
brace. They had
purpose.
to put that brace because there is no air on the moon.
Is there any gravity?
What?
Oh wow, look at there.
Well, and then when the second picture pulled up, I was up in the sound booth, and one of the
couldn't
guys
find
helping me.
anything better.
One of the guys helping me in the sound booth, he said, "Look at him," and I thought, "Oh." And then I said, "What is that mean?" He said, "Oh, nothing, nothing."
You're like, oh, Brooks? Yeah, every week.
I'm like, okay.
Those guys have gone through a lot, though. I mean,
I wonder if this is before or after.
Yeah, I don't know if they would have made it very far if they dressed like this when they were going out
Yeah.
west.
the one guy ditched a tie. He's like, I can't do this.
Just give me a turtleneck.
Help me get rid of the time, everybody. I can't paddle I can't paddle the canoe. I don't know if they would have spoken.
Surely they had a different
I
outfit.
doubt they would have had that accent either. Yeah.
I'm gonna lay it down under.
Who would have known, Lewis?
I think this would be a great time to
You think?
begin wrapping things up a little bit here. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
I think we should.
This is going to be a tough one. That was a tough close. Thank you for tuning in to the Chase of the Rabbit podcast, a podcast from First Baptist Church of the Islands. Be sure to follow, turn on those notifications, rate this podcast, share this podcast, check out our website, fbcislands.com, and the YouTube channel, FBC of the Islands, and we will see you next time.